The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi60 from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 0112 357 357.
In a few moments, the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's precisely 1:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. Distribution of 40,000 metric tons of diesel will commence this afternoon. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says government parties, including cabinet ministers, did not support the president. Minister SLBC emphasises that discussions did not take place about a caretaker government at all party conference or in the government. Security is strengthened at some places following intelligence information. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe sends his resignation letter to the President. And in world news, Shanghai hospital struggles with COVID infections. In sports news, Pakistan Cricket Board projects revenue of $650 million from proposed annual 4-team Super Series. Now the local news in detail. A ship carrying 40,000 metric tons of diesel under the Indian Credit Line has arrived in the Colombo harbour. Chairman of the Petroleum Corporation, Sumit Vijay Singha, said distribution of diesel from the ship will commence from this afternoon. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that JVP conducted protests from the moment government came to power. A special media briefing was held yesterday at the President's Media Centre in connection with the violent incidents at Mirihana, Pengirivatta area. He mentioned this during the media briefing. He pointed out that they are silent on the Easter Sunday attacks and bond scam took place during the time of good governance government. He said President Gotabaya Rajapaksa protected lives of the people by successfully implementing the vaccination program. He said that President has continued to refuse to issue vehicle permits to parliamentarians. Minister Ranatunga said more than 2,000 workers from the Presidential Secretariat were removed to control expenditure. The minister said government stakeholders, including cabinet ministers, did not properly support the President. Jatika Janabalawege MP Professor Harini Amarasuriya says that various parties are proposing for a caretaker government with the intention of coming to power. She said government should take measures to meet the demands of the people. MP SLBC said government did not hold discussions about a caretaker government. He pointed out that such a matter was not discussed at all party conference. Convener of Jaffna Civil Organisation Centre Arun Siddharthan said opposition is working together with pro-LTT elements using the problems in the country. However, he said people in Jaffna will not allow Elam terrorism in the country again. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi60 from Sri Lanka Insurance.
Continuing local news, Ministry of Public Security says that security has been strengthened at some places following intelligence information. Minister retired Admiral Sarath Weerasekara said that relevant authorities were instructed to take all necessary measures in that regard. The minister said that he respects the right of the people to conduct peaceful protests. However, he said legal action will be taken against persons who damage public property. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe has decided to resign from his state ministerial portfolio. He has also decided to resign as the SLPP leader in the Polonnaruwa district. He has mentioned this in a letter to the President. Chairman of Siddhalepa Group, Dr. Victor Hettigoda, has passed away at the age of 84. Dr. Hettigoda was conferred with Deshabandhu title in 1990 by then-President Ranasinghe Premadasa in recognition of his contribution to Ayurveda and the industry. He has received many national and international awards, including a listing among the 50 greatest Sri Lankan entrepreneurs after the independence. With that, we conclude the local news.
The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi60 from Sri Lanka Insurance. A health insurance plan to honor our most valued elders by the protectors of the nation. We now give our treasured senior citizens access to the very best medical insurance, specially tailored for anyone over 60. What's more, you don't need medical screening to access this policy. And Medi60 covers a wide range of illnesses. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 0112 357 357.
Taking a look at the main news story, National Transport Commission is to introduce a special bus service to facilitate commuters during the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year season from April 8th to 19th. National Transport Commission Director General Nilan Mirinda said that buses will leave Colombo City to other provinces until April 15th, and from April 15th to 19th, a similar operation will continue from other provinces to Colombo City. That came to you in our main news bulletin.
Watch Life is brought to you by More Prizes, More Gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
Dharma School examinations conducted annually by the Buddhist Affairs Department will be held tomorrow. 1,050,000 students have qualified to sit the examination, which will be held covering the entire island. That came to you in Watchlight.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
The headlines of the world news. Shanghai hospital struggles with COVID infections. Yemen warring parties agree to a 2-month truce period. Ukraine says a pull-out of Russian troops is slow but noticeable. Now the world news in detail. Authorities in Shanghai are struggling to deal with a suspected wave of COVID infections at a large hospital for the elderly in a sign of how serious the outbreak is in China's biggest city. Shanghai has not declared any new COVID deaths in the city since the outbreak of the latest wave of the virus. Media has spoken to people working at the Donghai Elderly Care Hospital who have described a dire situation and desperate attempts to help dozens of elderly patients, some of whom have died. The UN says a 2-month truce has been agreed by warring parties in Yemen. According to UN estimates, it is the first nationwide truce agreed since 2016 in a war which has killed nearly 400,000 people. About 60% died from hunger, lack of health care and unsafe water. The deal between the Saudi-led coalition and Iran-backed Houthi rebels, which can be extended if both agree, is scheduled to come into effect today. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says a pull-out of Russian troops is slow but noticeable in the north. Zelensky warns Ukrainians, however, that hard battles lie ahead in the east of the country around Donbas and Kharkiv. Ukrainian forces have recaptured the towns of Bucha and Irpin outside Kyiv in the north. With that, we conclude the world news. Prior to concluding, the headlines of the world news once again. Shanghai hospital struggles with COVID infections. Yemen warring parties agree to a 2-month truce period. Ukraine says a pull-out of Russian troops is slow but noticeable. With that, we conclude the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Haritodak National Agriculture Home Garden Development Program was launched recently at Kahatudur, Pulgasovita. The government has decided to implement this nationwide home gardening program with the intention of popularizing the concept of a healthy, self-sufficient family unit by getting non-toxic fresh vegetables, fruits, herbs and legumes from their own home gardens. That came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
The PCB's proposed quadrangular T20I tournament could, according to the board's projections, bring in as much as $650 million in revenue for the 4 participants as well as the ICC. The proposal, which sees Pakistan, India, England and Australia playing a single-league T20 tournament annually, will be presented formally at the ICC board meeting next week in Dubai. The PCB has identified a window for the event in September-October, which officials say is an ideal period because it is the start of the season in Australia, India and Pakistan, and near the end of the English season. That was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Traverse Sri Lanka's first virtual city launched by national ICT provider SLT Mobitel was debuted yesterday in Colombo. The aim of the virtual city is to provide opportunities for growth and a platform for innovation while helping Sri Lankan business to increase their relevance and value in the fast expanding digital economy. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Taking a look at the economic news, the 10th edition of Sancharaku Udava, Sri Lanka's premier travel and tourism exhibition organised by Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators will be held on May 20th and 21st at the BMICH. Imran Hassan, CEO, Managing Director, CDS Events, said the primary objective of the event is to provide an ideal platform for small and individual service providers in the region to create much-needed links with the large travel players as well as public and private sector officials in the tourism industry under one roof. That came to you in economic news. Finally, taking a look at the weather report, Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur over most parts of the island during the evening or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva and north central provinces and in Trincomalee, Vaunia and Mullaitivu districts. That was the weather report, and prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. Distribution of 40,000 metric tons of diesel will commence this afternoon. Minister Prasanna Ranathanga says government parties, including cabinet ministers, did not support the president. Minister S.B. Dissanayake emphasizes that discussions did not take place about a caretaker government at all party conference or in the government. Security is strengthened at some places following intelligence information. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe sends his resignation letter to the President. With that, we conclude the news. Over to my friend, and certainly yours, who's all geared up to keep you entertained with a wonderful collection of music indeed.